Okay, so plotting, it's a really useful tool if you want to show any kind of data you've gathered. It's going to go over the basics today, but so if you want to create a plot, you just hit plot and then whatever data you want to use for your X and your Y. So I already made some variables, they're just 1 through 10, and you hit enter and you're given a plot. So it's pretty basic, but if you don't like the way it looks, say you want a different color line, you can add that in too. Just same as you did before, but after your data, you want to add in a color code, and those are on the slides right over here. There's a bunch of them. I'm just going to pick red, and that's just an R. There. And now you can see the graph's red. And yeah, you can change the line. If you want a different kind of line, or say you wanted dots or something instead of a line as like a scatter plot, you go plot. And you want to say you want to keep it red, you say red and then put an O afterwards, and that'll give you O's instead of your normal line. So now you've got a scatter plot, and that'll be more applicable. Obviously, data that fit that, but you can do it. And there's a lot you can do. So here's the entire table of all the different symbols you can use. You can also add a line in between if you want. So if you want to say add a line in between, you go now you've got a line, or say, sorry, if you want to add a dots with a line, you go O, and then now you've got your data points and a dotted line. You can also, if you hover over your data points, you can display them. So that can be useful too. But in terms of, if you also say you want a thicker line, so I'm just going to remove this formatting for now and just say I wanted just a plain simple line, but I want it to be thicker than normal. Go Y1, and then line width. You have to type in line width. And then you say how thick you want it. Usually 2 is pretty good, but as you can see, that's thicker than we had before, and you can really pick any size you want, and it just kind of looks nicer. Also, if you want to just kind of edit your graph a little more, you can set bounds for upper and lower limits for both axes. So say if you only wanted to look at the data, kind of zoom in between, say, 3 and 7, say X lim limit, and then you want to put your boundaries in, so 3 and 7. Oh, okay, sorry. It's not X, it's X lim, my bad. And see, it'll correct me because it, and then now you've got your graph cut down, but say you didn't want your y-axis cut down too, you can say change that, say y-lim, put it back to 1 to 10. And there you go, now you've got your zoomed in graph. So that can be useful. But you'll notice too, though, if I say I make a new plot, I lose all my formatting, and that can be kind of annoying. Or if you want to put multiple graphs up, then you can't because you only put one up at a time. If you want to fix that, you say hold on, and now it'll save anything you do on your graph. So say I want to make another line, X2 now, it's another data set I have up there. And there, see, now you've got 2 lines on your graph. And also if we were to change the boundaries, they would also stay. Now you going to want to add axes, labels to your axes in a title, and those are also fairly simple to do. You just put title, and you say graph, and then there you've got your title. The X and Y labels work the exact same way. You just type an X label and whatever you want, and same with Y label. So I'm not going to go through those unless you guys want me to. A legend, though, that's slightly more complicated, not too much more complicated. You just type in legend, and you can just type in what you want in your legend. Make sure they match the number of lines you have, otherwise it'll give you an error. But if you also want to state its location, say you don't want, because default's upper right, if you want to say in the lower left hand or lower right hand corner, you like this, and you type in your labels, X1, X. And the way it works is you want to say, you don't say left, right, say southeast, southwest, or something like that. So lower right-hand corner will be southwest. And, or sorry, that's southwest. You want it southeast, so you're not blocking your data. And now you see it's in the right-hand corner, out of the way of your data. So that's useful. You can also make different, these are all line or scatter plots. You can also make a histogram. That's useful displaying different kinds of data. And that's also very simple to do. You just go histogram and you can input your data. I'm going to pick Z, which, or first I actually want to say hold off, which is how you turn hold off. So I don't display histogram over my scatter plot and line graphs. Then you want to say histogram, then your data. And now you've got yourself a histogram. And if you say you didn't want 4 bins, you only wanted 2, you can just go histogram, then press the number of bins, and now you've got 2 bins. And there's a lot more you can do with all these graphs. If you look up on Matlab help plotting for histograms or linear plotting, you can find pretty much anything you'd ever want to know about it. So just bear that in mind if you have a question about it. So if you guys have any questions, let me know. Otherwise, we can move on. Are there any